Welcome, prospective Canadian students. We're happy to provide you information on attending SUNY Potsdam. Although we are right across the border, we know that it's a big decision to consider coming to New York State for your education programs and other programs. So we've prepared this slideshow for you with some information to help you understand some of the answers to the most frequent questions we receive from Ontario and other Canadian students. My name is Dr. Debbie Anderson, and I am Associate Professor and Canadian Coordinator. I happen to be from Prescott, Ontario, and spent my teaching and administrative career in Ontario, so I do know the Ontario context.
And my name is Peter Cutler. I'm the Assistant Director for the Center for Graduate Studies. Where is Potsdam is usually the first question that I receive in the Center for Graduate Studies. And this map does a good job of describing where we are. So we're in upstate New York, just across the border from Ontario. We're about 45 minutes from the Johnstown-Prescott Bridge. And if you are traveling south from Ottawa, we're about 2 hours from Ottawa. Some quick facts about SUNY Potsdam. We are specialists in the field of education, and we're one of 64 state schools. The State University of New York is what the acronym SUNY stands for. So we're one of 64 state schools, one of 12 colleges of arts and science. We have about 4,300 students, 300 of which are at the master's level, and we have small class sizes, a lot of individual attention. And something a lot of people don't realize is that we've been helping Ontario students for a number of years, and approximately 11% of our alumni base is Canadian. This presentation will focus on our graduate degree program. Specifically, we intend to focus on the MST program, but this slide lists all of our graduate degree programs at Potsdam. And you can see as you scroll down through the list that a number of them are education-based. Again, education is our specialty at SUNY Potsdam. If you want to be a teacher, there's no better place than SUNY Potsdam. We've been here for over 200 years, or just about 200 years. We're celebrating our bicentennial this year. We date back to the St. Lawrence Academy in 1816, and we're fully accredited. We have a wonderful reputation, and we have one of the most rigorous teacher education programs in New York. Specifically, we would offer to Ontario students looking to become certified the Master of Science for Teachers program. We call it the MST program for short. This program is a master's degree, and it leads to New York State teacher certification. It does not require an undergraduate degree in education, and does not require education experience. Those are helpful, but it does not require it for admission. The exciting thing for Ontario students is that this degree is recognized in a number of other places and very well received. You can take this degree and certification to a number of other states in the US, and it's well received in Ontario and so on. We have a placement option within Ontario, which we will be talking in depth about in this presentation, and that can be available in both private and public school boards.
The MST program is the equivalent to the Bachelor of Education, or B.Ed, in Ontario. It is your initial certification licensing you to teach, and it is the equivalent to the B.Ed in Ontario. In Ontario, you have some nice partnerships with your degree at SUNY Potsdam. You can do your pre-student teaching and student teaching placements in your typically your second and third semesters in Ontario. So some of your semesters you would come here for courses, and that could be Potsdam, that could be Watertown. You can commute, or you can spend so many days a week here and then go home on extended weekends. Or when you do the courses, you also have pre-student teaching, which is typically 1 day a week, and that you can choose an Ontario school for. And your student teaching semester, typically, Ontario students choose to do that in an Ontario school.
The MST options are as follows. We have basically two options. One is for childhood education and one is for adolescence education. And what does that mean? The MST childhood education option is for New York State certification in grades 1 through 6. This would equate to K through 6 primary junior certification in Ontario. The MST adolescence education is for grades 7 through 12, equating to grades 7 through 12 or intermediate certification in Ontario. Now, for subject areas, the MST childhood education program does not focus on any particular subject. It's broad spectrum. The MST adolescence education, grades 7 through 12, is core content specific. So we would be focusing on the following areas: English, math, social studies, and science. In order to enter the MST adolescent education program, you will need an undergraduate degree that focuses on one of these areas for admission. So, for example, if you wanted to be in the MST adolescent education mathematics program, you would need an undergraduate degree in mathematics. Focusing specifically on the MST childhood education course template, you can see that this program is 3 full-time semesters. The first semester is all courses on campus. The second semester is courses on campus with a 1-day per week practicum, which is 100 hours, conveniently scheduled on Monday or a Friday. A word on the academic portion. The courses are designed to teach you how to teach. You will be focusing on literacy methods, teaching methods for math, science, social studies, classroom management and discipline, special education, and so on. So that leads up to the third semester. After the first 2, you'll have a third semester of full-time student teaching. This is typically, as Dr. Anderson mentioned, done in Ontario at a private or public board, conveniently to a location that's near you. And it's full-time. And so what we mean by that is you'll have 8 weeks in a lower grade and 8 weeks in an upper grade. Usually it'll be grades 1, 2, or 3, and then grades 4, 5, or 6. So during the third semester, you'll have a chance to implement some of the lessons that you've learned in the first 2 semesters with practical experience and forming relationships in an Ontario school board. If you wanted to start the program for MST Childhood in the summer, you could begin that program in May, and it does take only 12 months to complete our program. If you wanted to start the program in the fall or in the spring, meaning the end of August or in January, the program does take a year and a half to complete. And the reason is simply that the placements in the second and third semester are not able to be done in the summer. So we have the summer off in the template starting in the fall or spring. It's the same 3-semester program. I should also mention that we do have a Watertown campus located just below the Thousand Islands region. And this option is very good for students looking for part-time specific coursework, usually done at night and or on the weekends. And if you're interested in part-time coursework or the Watertown location, we can talk to you more in depth about that later. For those of you interested in the adolescent education program, 7 through 12 or intermediate senior, you can see if you're interested in math, science, or social studies, these programs begin once per year. They're templated to start in the summer, and they take a little over a year and 4 semesters, finishing in the end of the following summer. It follows the same type of template as does the childhood education program, where you'll be learning how to teach, having a practicum, and then doing a full-time student teaching placement. The difference for this program is that you'll come back under advisement and complete a few additional courses after your student teaching placement. The full-time MST program for English only starts once per year in the fall. It's 4 semesters, and it finishes in the following December. A word about admission to our program. We offer a very personalized admissions approach, and this is an area where we can help you. General requirements, we're looking for An undergraduate degree from the university, 3 or 4-year degrees are acceptable. We're looking ideally for our candidates to have approximately a B average in the most recent work. We have a rolling admission basis. We will accept applications rate along the entire year. We do look for some specific core content as mentioned previously. And the actual application materials are listed on this slide. So you can see that you'll need to complete an online application. There is a $50 application fee. And then the portal for our application goes over all of the required documents, which include a letter of intent. You'll need to get us your transcripts from your university, and if you have any other transcripts from other academic institutions, that can also be helpful. We also require 3 reference letters, a professional resume, and a GRE or MAT test score, which is a standardized test. The GRE stands for Graduate Records Exam, and the MAT stands for Miller Analogies Test. Either of these standardized test scores are acceptable, and we can help you more through that later if you have not already taken those exams.
Funding is always a question in terms of options. First thing you should consider is applying to OSAP, just like you would in any institution. Attending an institution outside of Ontario, you are still eligible to apply for OSAP, and depending on your personal and financial circumstances, you would get an indication of how much you would receive from OSAP, which could be applied to this degree. In addition, you should ask upon application and getting the information, ask the grad office what situations might apply to you, scholarships, awards, grants, funding, different opportunities. Talk to them about your experience in your application and what might be applicable to you. There's a website right on this slide that shows you where to go for some further information as well.
Cost is always a factor, and this slide attempts to be as transparent as possible for the cost of attendance based on the 2015 to 16 costs. What we've done here is we've taken 3 semesters of out-of-state tuition, which is the rate that you would pay for our program, and the MSP program being 3 semesters is why we took 3 semesters for full-time study. We also added 3 semesters of estimated fees and parking. The estimated total is just a little more than 35,000 US funds for the total of the entire program. Anecdotally, our Ontario students who have done comparisons have told us that this does compare, although it's a lot, does compare very well with a number of other institutions, especially when you talk about the timeline where you can complete the program in 12 months and the commuting options that are welcome and available so that you can commute daily and you don't have to live on campus.
I would also like to add that some students have considered 2 full years, 4 academic semesters in Ontario and having to live away from home and the cost of that and attending in Ontario. As well, the cost includes your whole package. You receive the 60 credits, all of the coursework that you need. Once you get New York State certified, all you have to do for the Ontario College of Teachers is apply. You submit your paperwork, you do any fees for processing there, but there are no additional exams or other things that you need to do to get OCT certified.
In full disclosure, we do have to mention that the New York State certification requirements do require the standardized tests, and they will require test fees along the way. And we can tell you more about those later. In order to cross the border, you will be required to have an I-20 document. And we do have an Office of International Education that stands ready to assist you with this process. Upon being accepted, what you will simply need to do is provide proof of monetary amounts. And they do vary based on your intended educational plan. So if you want to attend full-time, you'll actually need to prove more funds than if you go part-time, and we can talk to you more about this later. But you can see the actual funds are listed on this screen for reference.
when you come to SUNY Potsdam, Ontario students and other Canadian students tend to get to know each other, support each other. We also have many things we offer as services on campus. You see a number of them listed there. One that I'd like to add is that in Satterley Hall, we have a lounge dedicated to graduate students. Has some furniture in it, has a computer, ability to get some food, so that those of you who are either commuting or spending a few days a week here and then going home, you have a place between classes to study, work, network with other students, have a place to go between classes, possible use of a locker to put your stuff. It's nice to have a little bit of a home base for those of you either commuting or have a lot of classes and you want a place to be on campus.
So the Center for Graduate Studies becomes a one-stop shop for all of the administrative functions that a graduate student needs, whether it's admission, which you're considering right now, all the way through to supporting the advisement and registration process to the actual award of the degree. We're here to help you, and anything that you need throughout your time at SUNY Potsdam, you can come to the Center for Graduate Studies, and our staff will welcome you and help you through any problems that you have. We take a very personalized approach, and we're proud of our relationships that we have with our students. Additionally, we do support a number of other enrichment opportunities, which are listed on this slide, and there are a lot of ways to get involved with the greater graduate community as a whole.
Number of quotes on this next slide from graduate students in the past. We can also put you in touch with students who have just recently graduated and can talk fresh about their experience, or students who are student teaching and know most of the program and can speak to it when they are in it. You can come and sit in on a class. You can certainly, as Canadian coordinator, I can help you with any questions anytime. There are faculty who will speak with you. Come to get a tour of the campus. There are lots of things that you can do to get familiar with SUNY Potsdam.
So logistically and driving, we are very close to a number of cities in Ontario, and it's an easy trip. So if you would like to come over, certainly feel free to contact us, and we can set up a number of options, as Dr. Anderson mentioned, including class visits. You can try the food out. We have the #1 food service in all of SUNY, so that is good. We also have a Tim Hortons on campus. But sure, so come over and visit our campus and talk to us in person, and we would be glad to help you in any way that we can to make your decision. To reward you for your time, we want to provide you with an easy-to-use application code. If you do decide to apply for a graduate school at SUNY Potsdam, use the online application and simply input the graduate application, or the application code, Tim Hortons, and your application fee will be waived. You will not have to pay the $50 application fee.
Thank you for considering SUNY Potsdam. We want you to know that a number of administrators in Ontario over the years have repeatedly told us when they have a position posted and they receive a stack of resumes and applications, the first thing they do is go through and look for SUNY Potsdam graduates, and they are the ones that they look at first because they know how well they are prepared. So we really thank you for your time today. Consider getting an application in, having a transcript review for free, just to kind of get a sense of what would be involved, and then you decide what semester you start, but at least get the information and get the process going. Anytime, either Peter or myself, you can ask us any questions. We're here to help you, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you.